Hello, brilliant entrepreneur. It's Tash, Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 179. So all the show notes and relevant links can be found at tashcorbin.com/179. This is a hyper practical episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast today because I'm going to tell you how you can have a successful business in just 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And even if you're already in business, I want you to listen to this podcast episode because I think it's going to fundamentally shift the way that you think about your business, and it could just give you one of those beautiful, juicy, practical insights that takes you from struggle town to absolutely flying. So let's jump in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Okay, so I have a 6-step process on how you can create a business in just 4 weeks. And I want to be upfront with you that this is most suited for people who want to sell their services. So whether you want to be a graphic designer, sell websites, be a healer, be a trainer, a coach, a mentor, a health practitioner, but something where you are selling your services, i.e., $100, I will give you a 1-hour session, or $250, I will design a new logo for you. Something where you're selling your time, i.e. you are selling a service. These types of businesses are the easiest to get off the ground. They have the lowest overheads. There's a very big value proposition in them, and they can be hyper profitable really quickly. So I'm a big fan of people who are starting businesses, starting with that service-based business. It is absolutely delicious as a business model. It's got so much going for it. So let's look at how you actually could go from, I think I want a business, to, holy moly, I have a business in just 4 weeks. Well, number one, you need to let go of all of the shoulds and the preconceptions that you have about what having a business looks like and what it actually means. So many people, when they think about starting a business, they think that the signs that they have a business, the things that they need to tick to say, yes, I have a business, are that they need to have a website, they need to have a fancy brand with a business name and a fancy logo and all of those sorts of things. They need to have social proof and lots of followers, and they need to have had customers before. They need to have somehow, before they've ever had customers, have customers. You know, it's that chicken and egg thing. Oh, I can't sell because I haven't had any customers yet, but I can't get any customers to say that I have customers, and you send yourself in this crazy spiral. So you need to let go of all of those shoulds. The only thing you need to have in order to have a business is paying customers. You just need to have, as soon as someone says to you, oh, $250 for that, yeah, here's $250, you're in business. Now, of course, there are legal things you need to do, and there are financial things that you need to do. In Australia, you need to have an ABN, an Australian business number. That's totally free to do. Like, just go to the website and get yourself an ABN. And there are sometimes some legal things that you need to tick off. But ultimately, in order to have a business, all you need to do is have someone who says, yes, I want that. Here's my money. You're in business. That's all you need. So if that's the measure of having a business, absolutely, you can do that in a week. You don't even need 4 weeks, but let's give it 4 weeks so that you're giving yourself a good chunk of time to prove this is a viable business idea. So that's step number one, is let go of all of those preconceptions about what you need and just focus on the one thing you truly need, and that is paying customers. That is your focus for this 4 weeks. Number two is get very clear on your big thing, the thing that you're actually selling, that deep transformation, the result that you are selling for your audience. Now, I'm not talking about, if you're a kinesiologist, kinesiology sessions, right? That is not your signature thing. That is not your product or service. That is a session. And that is not what you are here to do. If it's about booking in people for single kinesiology sessions for the rest of your life, so you're going a very hard way about creating success in your business. I want you to think about that deep transformation that you could facilitate with your service. Is it for people to go from having no idea what their brand is to having their first branding in their business if you're a graphic designer? If you are a health coach, is it a 12 weeks from A to J in their journey of their health and well-being? What is that before and after, that big thing that you can facilitate? If you are in the business space, the marketing space, is it helping someone go from, I don't know what the hell I'm doing on social media, to my Facebook page is a money-making machine? What is that before and after that you are facilitating with your services? The big thing. I'm not talking about just the one-off. I'm talking about the big thing. Get really clear on what that big thing is and what the price would be for the first person. Now, this doesn't have to be the price forever. It's just the price for the first person. When I first started out, I wanted to get myself a few clients who were working with me for either a month or 6 months, and it was $1,000 for a month or $2,500 for 6 months. And I had this very clear idea of what we could achieve in a month and what we could achieve in 6 months. And that was my first things. Now, once I'd sold that a few times, I then put the price up, and I wanted to, make sure that I was really pricing appropriately. But that was my price point when I first started out, and that was like my beginner's price. I think I even discounted for the first couple of people. I think I did $750 for the month and $2,000. No, my first 6 months was $2,500. Anyway, that was my price, right? So we want to get really clear on what that big transformation is. What is the big thing that you are here to do? Number 3 is to start talking in tangibles. So I understand that you are very passionate about your process, right? For people who are in service-based business, they're very excited about their process. I use this tool and this technology or this step by step, and we dig in here and we do this and we do that. The only person who cares about your process is you, really. Yes, it's a great way to explain what you do and how you get people to the end result, but ultimately, people want to work with you and buy from you because they want the end result. So you need to start talking in tangibles. What is it that I will see, feel, hear, do, have differently in between the before and the after, right? What are you taking me from and to in a very tangible way? A great way to practice talking in tangibles is to write down the 4 big juicy outcomes that people will have from working with you over that period of time. Things that they can see, feel, hear, and touch. Things that they can be, do, and have as a result of working with you. Start talking about your work in much more tangible ways. Step number 4 is go and find an audience. Find those people who want to go from before to after. Now, chances are you're going to think, oh, I need to go and get 1,000 followers on Facebook, or I need to go and find the right hashtags on Instagram. No, this is the first 4 weeks of your business. You need to find a much clearer and direct line of sight between you and that audience. The 2 things I want you to consider are, number 1, who do you already know? Who knows who you know, right? So like, what is your immediate network and your extended network? And get over yourself and go and talk to that audience. So you might know that your colleague from work 2 years ago would be the perfect person for this, and you're still friends with them on Facebook. I want you to reach out and have a conversation with that person. I want you to find your audience and connect with them. Now, the second way that you can do this is so step 1 is your existing audience. Who do you know and who do they know? And then the second one is, where are there connected audiences who you can tap into an existing audience? So those spaces could be things like joining Facebook communities. If you sell to entrepreneurs, there are so many beautiful entrepreneurial Facebook groups out there where you can immediately connect with your audience. If you're selling to people who are dog lovers, if you're selling to people who are into salsa dancing, even if you're not selling anything related to salsa dancing, you can join those communities and create connections and networks with those people. So there's Facebook groups, networking events. If your ideal client is into salsa dancing, go and do some salsa dancing classes and meet some people who are in the space and grow that network of who you know and who they know, and start talking about your work and the thing that you're doing with people with those audiences. So that's step number 4. Step number 5 is practice selling your stuff, asking for the sale. You need to get good at sales in order to have a business that's sustainable. So your job is to get out there and start practicing that skill. So next time you're at a barbecue and someone asks you what you do, you can say, well, if you have a job, this is my job, but I'm also starting a business where I help people go from A to B. Start talking about your services. And if someone says, oh my God, my sister would totally needs that, then say, well, here's my email address. Tell her to send me an email or send us a joint message on Facebook. I'm happy to talk to her for free and see if I can help her. Get good at actually making the sale. Have a practice at actually talking about your services, because ultimately you're going to have to get good at this anyway. You can spend your 4 weeks in resistance mode and like, oh, I don't want to talk about my stuff. Or you can spend your 4 weeks getting really good at practicing saying, this is what I do. This is how I help people. And asking for the sale. Because sales, like learning from that sales experience is so important. Sales is such an important part of what you're doing. It's time to overcome that resistance and just practice. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Everybody says no, and in 4 weeks you don't have a business, but you've given it your best shot. All right, and then step number 6 is be curious and unflappable. Learn how to become your best advocate for your business. You know, there's so many things that are going to get in your way. You're going to get rejected. You're going to have people say no to you. You're going to have people say, I have no idea what that is. What are you doing? You're going to probably have someone say, are you taking advantage of people on the internet? Those things are going to happen because you're becoming more visible and you're growing a business. But is it worth you getting over that fear and becoming unflappable in the face of adversity in order for you to have that freedom and lifestyle and income and amazing sense of purpose that this business could create for you? Is it actually worth it? You know, your desire and your hunger only needs to be a tiny bit bigger than your fear, and it just needs to stay that way. You need to learn to become really curious about what works and why it doesn't, and unflappable and hungry for this thing. You know, it's if Steve Jobs stopped the first time he faced adversity, we wouldn't have Apple. If Richard Branson stopped the first time someone said that's a silly idea, we wouldn't have Richard Branson. You know, I think that there's this desire, this feeling that the way to create a business is to get out there and never fail. No, your job as an entrepreneur is to get out there and fail and recover really quickly. I say my business is about me making mistakes so that you don't have to. But ultimately, you are going to have to make some mistakes in your business as well. So how can you support yourself to become hyper curious and really unflappable in your desire and hunger and drive to find out what works and get this business off the ground? And I truly believe if you follow those 6 steps and you get really hungry and curious and become really excited and willing to do what it takes to grow this business, that you absolutely can have people saying to you within the next 4 weeks, shut up and take my money. That's exactly what I need. I want it. Here's my money for it. And you, my darling, will be in business. That's it for this episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast, but that's not it for the conversation. Come on over to the Heart Centered Soul Driven Entrepreneurs Facebook community and let's continue the conversation there. Use the hashtag #PodcastAha. Let me know you've been listening to episode number 179 of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. Let me know your insights and your questions so that we can continue the conversation there. And if you're looking for more support in starting your business, if you head to the show notes at tashcorbin.com/179, I have a beautiful free resource that will help you continue your journey in getting this business off the ground and fast track getting clients in the door. Let's not do it in 4 weeks. Let's do it in a week. How's that sound? Until next time, beautiful lady, I cannot wait to see you shine. Big love from me and bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.